Hi, welcome to Lesson 3 for Multicultural Lit, and the primary focus today is going to be on working on some revision strategies. And one of the ideas that I have for revision strategy comes from a book called Writer's Ink. And they have this wonderful idea called RRRRR, revising. And that looks like this. So the first step for your revision work is to read what you've written all the way through. Don't do anything. You don't even need to have a pen out. You're just merely reading through what it is that you've written. Now obviously you have to have something written. You can't start revising until you have something to work with. And the example that I have given you in class, I have about 600 words, and I'm not particularly happy about that draft, but that's the way drafts are. They're usually messy. They have a lot of different ideas in them, and you're going to take pieces of it and use it, rip some pieces out, add some new pieces in. And that's the react part. So when I look through the draft that I created, I can see that there are some pieces that I'm interested in perhaps keeping. For instance, when I look through it, I think that maybe that background piece about doing the work that I did when I was young, that work has been important in my whole life, and that I helped pay for my own college expenses when I was young. And then another piece that I really liked was a little bit further down, and that was the section about what it was like when I first traveled truly outside of the country when I was 21, and the experiences I had there. And it would be harder, I think, for me to pick and choose what kinds of outside cultural experiences I might like to include. For me, trying to condense down can be more difficult once I get going. But there's a lot of pieces in this that I probably will not keep. I was doing sort of the exercise that maybe some of you were doing, which was to take that cultural wheel, if you haven't looked at that identity wheel, and I was sort of working my way through the entire wheel. And actually, and this may happen to you, or may have happened to you, I started to get a little bit bored. By the time I had gotten partway through the circle, I was tired of writing about that subject. That is always a key to me, that if I'm bored with my writing, it's not going to be very good. So I sort of stopped, and you can see that very last line, other identities on the wheel, first language English, physical equals normal, religion equals none. Maybe I could expand some of that out further, but I probably won't. I probably will just take a couple of those identities and flesh them out a little bit. So my first step right now is to take that 600 words that I have written, read it again. I've actually read it a few times. React, I probably will take a pen, I'll make some arrows, I'll make some notes on the margin, and then I'll start to rework. I do understand that when we work on a computer especially, that some of this writing process is very much recursive. You write a paragraph, you read it through, then you look at it. You're really going through a lot of these steps automatically as you write. So I do understand that it may feel a little bit stunted or stilted to give the teacher one rough draft and then give the teacher another draft. So there may be steps that you're taking along the way to refine, which is fine. It is a natural process, but I do want to see a little bit of your process as you go, which is why I'm going to be collecting your first draft on Friday by 2 o'clock. I'll have that posted on my website, and I'll have that posted in the classroom. When we get to these other steps, this is going to be really later. You can see I've rewritten this a couple of times. I keep forgetting something along the way. So I had to stitch in here, refine. That's later. That's those final touches where you're really trying to look at what is my tone, maybe add a little more style. If it's more of a narrative piece, you're adding perhaps a metaphor, or you're working on how your words fit together. So this is maybe one strategy that can help you think a little bit about what is revision. Some of you are very good probably already at revision. Some of you I know from other classes, so I know a little bit about what your work looks like. But others, maybe writing is not your thing. All of us can become better writers with practice and with continued work. One other thing I wanted to mention, based on what I saw today in class, is this whole social identity question. Some people were not sure what this really meant. Looking at the wheel required a little more explanation. I will post on my website, and I'm actually going to put a link here in YouTube to my website, but I'm going to post another page that explains a little bit more about the terminology. So if you're feeling a little frustrated or a little bit lost, check that out too. Write down questions that you have for me so that when you come to class on Friday, you'll be able to let me know where it is that I can help you out a little bit more. You will have some time on Friday to do some of the drafting, not a lot. So if you didn't get a lot written before, during class on Wednesday, or maybe in the evening, maybe you only have a few sentences or one paragraph, you really need to expand so that you have something to work with. That's another component about revising. If you've got nothing really to work with, you're still in that draft mode, and you really need to have a draft of some substance. I will be posting also to my website the parameters of the assignment. How long is always the big question. This is not going to be a very long paper. And what I will be looking for. Now, some of that I did mention in the last video, so you can go and re-watch that. And you can also look at the notes I posted that were from the Smartboard. So be sure to do that. Make sure that you're informed, you're aware, you know what's happening, and ask for help if you need some help. Next week we'll continue to do some more work with this, and we'll continue moving forward. I hope this was helpful. Again, let me know if there's information that you feel like you're missing, and some of these lessons that I'm putting out on the internet can be refined to help more of you be successful. Thanks for watching.